How does your Republican Party work, and why does it matter? My name's Sam Mortensen, and I'd like to explain to you a few things that I've recently learned about how the GOP works and how to make my voice heard. That way you can understand how to make your voice heard. I believe that our republic works best when we, the people, are the ones in control. I don't know about you, but in recent years, I felt like no matter how loud I shout, it just doesn't matter what I say or what my beliefs are. So anyway, let me explain a few things about the GOP. In Indiana, the Republican Party is up for election every 4 years on a presidential primary, and that's this spring. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video, and hopefully this is helpful. I'll try to keep this short and explain it as simply as possible. I like to think of, or it helps me to think of politics in the game of football. I understand football a little bit, therefore I can understand politics a little bit. If we think of politics or the Super Bowl, which just happened, as the red team and the blue team showing up to the Super Bowl. By the way, there's only 2 teams in the Super Bowl. There's not 3. Like it or love it or hate it, whatever you want, we live in a 2-party system. And so you have the red team and the blue team that show up to the Super Bowl every 4 years. And the Republicans, want to talk about how we're better than the Democrats, and the Democrats want to talk about how we're better than the Republicans. And we all show up and we vote and we cheer for our team and the other team cheers for their team. And people hope that their team scores the most touchdowns and their values win. And then the other team hopes that their team scores the most touchdowns and their team wins or their values win. We as the electorate, the people who show up to the polls or show up to the stadium, are the ones who are in the stands. And we can shout all we want and cheer all we want and boo all we want, but it really doesn't affect the game on the field. And the people who are elected to public office, they're the ones who are actually wearing the jerseys and they're on the field. But the people we often don't think about is the coaching staff. You and I both know to have a winning championship team, you've got to have a great coaching staff. Well, that coaching staff, be it Democrat or Republican, in the state of Indiana, that Republican coaching staff is up for election every presidential primary year. And that's this primary. Here's how it works. The first way that we, the people, get to vote for somebody and have our voice heard in the party is to elect what's called a precinct committeeman. Precinct committeeman down here in Dearborn County, Indiana, there's 45 different precincts. Precincts are based on population, and some of them are a whole township. Some of them have multiple precincts in a township. But in Dearborn County, there's 45 precincts. You need 50% plus one of those precinct committeemen to have a majority to elect. It's called a county chair. Think of it as the coach for the Republican Party in our county. And that coach is supposed to go around and try to get people to be involved in the party and help find good candidates to run and help find other people to support those candidates to help them get elected. And obviously the other side is trying to do their part to put forward good candidates to get them on the field and they compete. In those precinct committeemen, once they're elected, about a year later, they get together and they elect for the whole congressional district, which we just were recently joined to the 9th district. All those county chairs or the county Republican coaches get together and they elect a district chair. Call it a coach for the whole congressional district. That congressional district chair is elected by 10 counties is what it takes, 50% plus 1, to elect that district chair. There's 19 counties in the 9th Congressional District. And then in the state of Indiana, there's 9 total congressional districts. So to have 50% plus 1 is 5 of those congressional districts elect, or is what it takes to elect a state chair. And that person is the person who represents our values on a national level in Washington, D.C. and et cetera. And so that precinct committeeman position is very, very important. If you don't know who your precinct committeeman is, you don't know who your point of contact is to be able to have your voice heard. You're just like somebody, if you disagree with a play on the field or subbing in a different player or maybe questioning a referee that called a certain play, you name it. Put yourself in a stadium, anything you disagree with going on the field, you can shout all you want, you're excited, you can boo all you want, you're irritated. You're really not anything but stadium noise. But if you have the phone number for somebody who's a part of the coaching staff, well, now your opinion really matters. And so if you know your precinct committeeman and you align with them politically, now your voice is heard. What happens if nobody runs for precinct committeeman, then they just get appointed. And they get appointed by the head coach of the county, call it the GOP chair of that county. And then that GOP chair is the one influencing those values, finding people like-minded that they think would be good in the party. If you're the person who elects your precinct committeeman, you're the one who gets your voice heard. And to me, it almost is another way of thinking about this is it's a really good way to be able to get the party and our government on a leash to where we the people hold them accountable. And that's how that all works as far as a precinct committeeman goes. So hope this video is helpful. I hope you take the time to find out who's running for precinct committeeman and you have a chance to let your voice be heard this year.